Hey, diet newbie. Welcome to a whole new way of thinking about food, eating, and your relationship with your body. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by all the conflicting advice out there, low carb, high protein, intermittent fasting, juice cleanses, and everything in between, you're not alone. Most of us have been there, standing in the kitchen, staring at a plate of food and wondering if we're making the right choice. But what if I told you there's a way to eat that doesn't involve endless rules, restrictions, or guilt? If you're sick of counting every single calorie, tracking every bite, and feeling like food is a math problem you can never quite solve, you need to hear this. Maybe you've tried keeping a food journal, logging every snack, or using apps that beep at you when you go over your daily limit. Maybe you've felt that sinking feeling when you mess up and eat something off plan. It's exhausting, right? The truth is, constantly monitoring your food can take the joy out of eating and make you feel like you're always falling short. That's where intuitive eating comes in. Intuitive eating is about to flip your food world upside down, in the best way possible. Imagine sitting down to a meal and actually enjoying it, without a calculator in hand or a voice in your head telling you what you should or shouldn't eat. Imagine sharing food with friends, laughing and savoring every bite, instead of worrying about how many points or macros you've used up for the day. Intuitive eating is the anti-diet. That's right, it's not another set of rules or a trendy new plan. It's a completely different approach that says, hey, your body actually knows what it needs. Let's start listening to it. Instead of following someone else's list of good and bad foods, you get to decide what works for you. No more rigid meal plans, no more forbidden foods, and definitely no more feeling like you failed just because you ate a cookie. With intuitive eating, there are no more food rules, no more guilt trips, and no more feeling like you have to earn your meals. You can finally let go of the idea that you need to punish yourself for eating something delicious, or that you have to make up for a meal by skipping the next one. Instead, you get to enjoy food for what it is: nourishment, pleasure, and a way to connect with others. So, how does it work? Instead of looking to a diet plan or an app to tell you when and what to eat, you start tuning into your own body's signals. That means paying attention to your hunger and fullness cues. Those little signals your body sends you when it needs food or when it's had enough. It might sound simple, but after years of dieting, many of us have lost touch with these signals. Intuitive eating helps you reconnect with them, so you can eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full, and actually enjoy the process. Imagine this. You're craving pizza. Not because it's your cheat day, or because you've been good all week, but simply because you want it. You sit down, take a bite, and actually taste the flavors: the gooey cheese, the crispy crust, the tangy sauce. You eat until you're satisfied, not stuffed, and then you move on with your day. No guilt, no shame, no mental math. Sounds wild, right? But that's the freedom intuitive eating offers. At its core, intuitive eating is about treating your body as a friend, not a food enemy. Think about it. If your best friend told you she was hungry, would you tell her to ignore it? If she said she was full, would you force her to keep eating? Of course not. You'd listen, respect her needs, and support her. Intuitive eating asks you to do the same for yourself, to trust your body, honor its signals, and let go of the constant battle over food. Over time, you learn to trust your hunger, stop when you're full, and ditch the weigh-in stress. No more obsessing over the number on the scale or feeling like your worth is tied to your weight. Instead, you focus on how you feel: energized, satisfied, and at peace with food. You start to notice that your body is actually pretty smart. It knows when it needs fuel, when it's had enough, and even what kinds of foods make you feel your best. And get this, studies show that intuitive eaters have better mental health, more stable weights, and a healthier relationship with food overall. That means less stress, less anxiety, and more joy at meal times. No more yo-yo dieting, no more feeling like you're on a never-ending roller coaster of restriction and binging. Instead, you find a balance that works for you, one that's sustainable for life. Of course, intuitive eating isn't always easy, especially if you've spent years following diets or feeling like food is the enemy. It takes practice, patience, and a willingness to unlearn some of the messages you've picked up along the way. You might feel uncertain at first, or worry that you'll lose control without rules. But as you practice, you'll start to notice something amazing. Food stops being scary. It becomes just food. Something you can enjoy without all the drama. With intuitive eating, you get freedom, not frustration. You get to rediscover the pleasure of eating, the satisfaction of listening to your body, and the joy of sharing meals with others. You can dance in your kitchen, try new recipes, and savor every bite, without worrying about whether you're doing it right. Food becomes a source of happiness, not stress. So next time you hear about the latest fad diet, the one that promises quick results but leaves you feeling deprived and frustrated, remember this: your body's got your back. You don't need to buy into the hype, the rules, or the guilt. You have everything you need to make peace with food, right inside you. Trust your gut. Literally, your body is wise, resilient, and capable of guiding you toward the foods and habits that make you feel your best. So take a deep breath, let go of the diet drama, and start listening to what your body has to say. You might be surprised by how good it feels to finally make peace with food and with yourself. Let's break it down a little more. Intuitive eating is based on 10 core principles, developed by dietitians Evelyn Tribole and Elise Resch. These principles include rejecting the diet mentality, honoring your hunger, making peace with food, challenging the food police, discovering the satisfaction factor, feeling your fullness, coping with your emotions with kindness, respecting your body, moving your body in ways that feel good, and honoring your health with gentle nutrition. Each principle is designed to help you rebuild trust with your body and create a healthier, happier relationship with food. For many people, the hardest part is letting go of the diet mentality. We live in a world that's obsessed with thinness, weight loss, and clean eating. It's easy to feel like you're doing something wrong if you're not constantly trying to shrink your body or follow the latest food trend. But intuitive eating invites you to step off that hamster wheel and start focusing on what really matters: your well-being, your happiness, and your relationship with yourself. Making peace with food means giving yourself unconditional permission to eat all foods without labeling them as good or bad. When you stop restricting certain foods, you take away their power. Suddenly, that chocolate cake isn't a forbidden temptation, it's just cake. You can have it if you want it, and you can stop when you've had enough. This might feel scary at first, but over time, you'll notice that your cravings become less intense, and you're able to make choices that truly satisfy you. Intuitive eating also encourages you to move your body in ways that feel good, rather than as a punishment for what you've eaten. Whether it's dancing, walking, yoga, or playing a sport, the goal is to find movement that brings you joy and makes you feel alive. Exercise becomes something you look forward to, not something you dread. And when it comes to emotions, intuitive eating teaches you to cope with kindness. Instead of turning to food to numb your feelings, you learn to check in with yourself and find other ways to care for your emotional needs. Maybe that means talking to a friend, journaling, or simply taking a few deep breaths. Food can be comforting, but it's not the only tool in your self-care toolbox. The best part, intuitive eating is for everyone. It doesn't matter your age, size, background, or experience with dieting. Anyone can learn to eat intuitively and find more peace with food. It's not about perfection, it's about progress, self-compassion, and learning to trust yourself again. So, if you're ready to break free from the diet cycle, reclaim your joy, and start living life on your own terms, give intuitive eating a try. It might just change your life. Remember, your body is your home, and you deserve to treat it with kindness, respect, and love. Thanks for joining me on this journey into intuitive eating. Here's to more freedom, more joy, and a healthier relationship with food. One bite at a time.